Assalamu alaikum everyone, this is me Huria and today I'll be presenting a very interesting topic here, which is ethylene glycol. So yeah, let's start it. So first of all, we have its overview, in which we have its introductions, chemical properties, its uses and application, its role of the ethylene glycol in Pakistan, its toxicity and safety, and its environmental impacts, its handling and storage, that how can we handle it and store it. Then we have its conclusion. So first of all, we have its introduction, in which we will define it, in which we will describe it, that what it is actually. So basically, ethylene glycol is a colorless, odorless, sweet-tasting organic compound, and it is also known as ethane 1,2-diol, and it is very much toxic when it is ingested directly to our body. So yeah, it can be very toxic. And also we have its chemical formula, which is C2H6O2. It is made up of the 2 carbon, 6 hydrogen, 2 oxygen, and it can be also used as antifreezing and in the production of the polyester fibers. So yeah, basically antifreezing is a means that it is kind of a substance that is added to the liquid, usually water, to lower its freezing point, and its primary purpose of the antifreezing is to prevent the liquid from freezing the cold conditions, such as this is very particularly important in automotive engines and in other kind of machineries. So it's very important to use it in other kind of machineries. And then we have the polyester fibers. So basically, polyester fibers are those type of synthetic fibers, and it is made from the polymers, which can be derived from the polymers and which are called as polyethylene tetraphthalate, PET. So now we will move to our next slide, which is about the chemical properties of ethylene glycol. So first of all, we have its molecular formula, which is C2H6O2, and then we have its molecular weight, which is 62.07 gram per mole. Then we have its physical state, and it remains liquid at room temperature, and it becomes liquid at room temperature. So then we have its boiling point, which is 197.6 degrees Celsius. Then we have its melting point, which is minus 12.9 degrees Celsius, and it is completely miscible with water. It can be completely soluble with water. So yeah, that's it for our chemical properties of ethylene glycol. Now we will move to our next slide, which is about the uses and application. So first of all, we have the antifreeze and the coolants. So basically, coolants are also known as the antifreeze, and basically they are the fluids to regulate the temperature of engines and other mechanical system. And yes, they play a very critical role in preventing overheating and the freezing of these systems. Then we have the polyester fibers. So as I have described earlier, that what is a polyester fiber, so I don't need to explain this again. So yeah, that's it. Then we have the industrial application. So it can be used in hydraulic, brake fluids, inks, and electrolytic capacitors also. So yeah, that's it for our uses and applications also. Then we will move to our next slide, which is about the role of ethylene glycol in Pakistan. So its industrial use, its regulation, environmental concerns. So industrial use is this, that ethylene glycol is widely used in Pakistan's automotive, textile, and chemical industries for the applications such as antifreeze, coolant, and the polyester fiber productions. Then we have its regulations. The import, handling, and the use of the ethylene glycols is regulated by the agency, which is named as Pakistan Environmental Protection Agency, PAK EPA. So it ensures the compliance with the safety and environmental standards. And then we have its environmental concerns. So improper disposal of ethylene glycol poses risk of the water contamination. As we all know, that it's kind of a dangerous compound, dangerous organic compound, hazardous organic compound, so it can cause the water contamination. So yeah, then we have its efforts, which are ongoing to improve the waste management practices and the spill response mechanisms. So basically, spill response mechanism is kind of an approach to managing and mitigating the effects of accidental release of hazardous substances such as oil, chemical, or other pollutants into the environment. So yeah, after that we will move to our second last slide, I think so, or third last slide. So yeah, and So we have its toxicity and safety. So first of all, we have its health hazards. So yeah, yes, if ethylene glycol is ingested, it can cause the serious health issues, and it can cause many kind of health hazards, because it can be very dangerous to our body. It can be very poisonous to our body, and it can cause many kind of diseases, including the kidney failure, metabolic acidosis. And then we have its symptoms of poisoning, which are the nausea, vomiting, convulsion, stupor, and even coma. If you guys are wondering that what is stupor, so let me tell you that it's kind of a condition in which a person feels unconsciousness or insensibility, and in which a person is barely responsive to external stimuli and has a significant reduced mental health and physical health. Then we have its first aid measures, which is inducing vomiting and seek immediate medical attention. Now we will move to our next slide, which is about the environmental impacts, in which we have its biodegradability first. So first of all, we will define it. So basically, it's kind of ability of the substances to be broken down naturally by the microorganisms such as bacteria, fungi into the simpler non-toxic substances. Then we have the ecotoxicity. So it can be very much toxic to the aquatic life if it is released in the larger quantity. So basically, it's a potential for the chemical substances to cause the harmful effects on the ecosystem, including plants, animals, and the many kind of microorganisms. So then we have its regulations. It can be regulated by the environmental protections agencies to prevent the contamination. So then we will move to our next slide, which is about handling and the storage of ethylene glycol. So it is very important to handle it with care. First of all, we have its storage requirements. So it should be stored in the cool, dry place away from the incompatible substances. And yeah, it's very important to store it in the cool, dry place, and it is very important to handle it with care. Then we have its personal protective equipment. So we have to use goggles, gloves, and the protective clothing while handling with it, because it can be very damaging to our body, as it can cause many kind of diseases. So then we have the spill management. So it contain and clean up the spills immediately and following the proper disposal procedures. And now we will move to our last slide, which is about the conclusion of ethylene glycol. So at the last, I just want to say that it is very crucial to handle it, and it is very important to handle it with care due to its toxicity to humans and animals, and can be very toxic to every human being. It can be very toxic to every being. So yeah, its proper storage and safety measures can be very much essential for its proper safe and use, as it can be used as it can poses to the health and environment risk. So it's very important to handle it with care. So my final thoughts on this is that its proper handling, storage, and disposals are very crucial to mitigate its negative impacts, and proper storage and safety measures are very much essential for its proper safe and use. So yeah, that's it for today's presentation. If anyone of you have any question, then you all are free to ask in the comment section below. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.